Welcome back to another first grade best practice video. I am Nicole Ward. In this video, we will share what one could see and hear when they visit mathematics classrooms, that is learning about composing and decomposing numbers up to 100. Let's get started. In the engaged activity below, students will watch the quick hook of someone picking strawberries and ask the students what they notice and wonder. This comes directly from the STEMscopes Explore. Then, using the student handout you see on the right, students would be given scenarios where they would have to compose and decompose a number in more than one way. During this engage, the teacher could observe if students could count and record a number in standard, pictorial, and expanded form. If you find that your students need to activate their prior knowledge from kindergarten to complete these tasks, check out the Foundation Builder game that is located under the Engage tab. These activities will engage students in the work they are about to start in this first grade unit on composing and decomposing numbers to 100. This first grade unit of study on composing and decomposing numbers to 100 will encompass the following key learning goals. Composing and decomposing numbers up to 100 in more than one way as tens and ones using objects, drawings, and expressions or equations. Reading numbers up to 100 in standard form, expanded form, and word form. Writing numbers up to 100 in standard form and expanded form. And identifying the number that is one more, one less, 10 more, and 10 less than a given two-digit number. These goals can also be found on the STEMscopes parent letter. What should we see happening in the classroom to help students achieve these goals? Notice in the example, students are deciding how to count the centimeter cubes in their bag. Then, in their student journal, they record the total they just counted and what they counted by. Students are then reading a number on the side of a bucket and counting out, and on their sheet, writing it in standard, word, and expanded form. You can also see students using manipulatives to build a number that is 10 less or 10 more than a given number. All of these snippets are from the STEMscopes Explore. There are 5 in this unit. Through the use of CRA, we want to show the connections between the models. Teachers will select different student strategies to use to discuss the comparison. These explorations by students in the classroom could demonstrate MTRs 1, 2, 5, and 7. The types of questions we ask students will determine the types of conversations we will hear in our classroom. The following are some examples of math chat questions you can find in STEMscopes. Notice that most of these questions are open-ended and will help elicit thinking and explanation from a student. The conversations elicited from these questions can demonstrate MTRs 1, 4, and 6. As our students engage in exploration and discuss their learning, we should hear mathematical vocabulary, not only from the students, but also the teacher. Here is a list of possible vocabulary terms that we could hear while students are working in this composing and decomposing numbers to 100 unit. We would want to hear students use the term ones and tens when referring to the place value of a given number. We would also want to hear the word equation when referring to a mathematical sentence that contains an equal sign. This vocabulary list can be found on the STEMscopes parent letter. Throughout the unit of study, we should see multiple opportunities for students to demonstrate their knowledge and understanding. This can include students counting objects and recording in a graphic organizer, as well as using a tens frame to record how many tens and ones they see. They could do this in their student journal and exit tickets during the Explore, as well as the Show What You Know task as a follow-up. Students could also use the Fluency Builder games to process and elaborate on their thinking, such as this 4 in a row game. Teachers could use the Show and Tell student cards to assess their students' understanding, as well as the Skills Builder quiz. These activities provide the teacher with formal assessments to gauge their learning throughout the unit. All of these activities can demonstrate MTRs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7, and can be found in STEMscopes under the Explore, Explain, and Elaborate tab. As we visit classrooms, we may want to ask students questions to better gauge their understanding of the current content. Here, we see a couple of different questions we could ask to get a better understanding of their knowledge with composing and decomposing numbers to 100, such as asking them, how do they know that a number is 10 more than another number? Or, what is another way to represent 45 using tens and ones? Remember, you can access additional questions to ask students on our SmathSmarts.com website. Students' explanation could demonstrate MTRs 4, 5, and 6. Students can continue their learning at home and would likely want to bring home an engaging activity. This activity is taken directly from the bottom of the STEMscopes parent letter. For this activity, when students are anywhere out of their house, they could see examples of numbers that are 100 or less. For example, this interstate sign or exit sign when driving. They may notice the number on a side of a home or a business, or even notice the cost of food while ordering at their favorite restaurant. The parents could then ask students how much is one more than the number they see or one less. They could even ask them how much is 10 more or less than the number they are seeing. Even though this isn't in the classroom, it is a great demonstration of students using their learning from the composing and decomposing unit and is hitting MTRs 3 and 7. All of these experiences are giving them the opportunity to create connections and increase their understanding of composing and decomposing to 100. Hopefully, with the help of these best practices, you and your students feel like this at the end of the unit. We will see you soon for the next best practice video.